My dear brothers and sisters here at Holy Cross, our second reading for the fourth Sunday of Lent, the Sunday that's coming up, is an interesting lesson from Paul's letter to the Ephesians. At the beginning of the letter, in the 5th chapter, he says, "Once you were darkness, but now you are light." Notice, Paul does not say, "Once you were in darkness and now you are in light." He says, no, once you were darkness, but now you are light. In this strange time, it can be difficult to remember that indeed, as members of the body of Christ, we are light, and we are beacons of light. And that means that we do not stoop into the darkness and grumble about being cut off physically from our brothers and sisters. What it means is this. Paul was writing to the Ephesians who were struggling in many ways with being outcasts. Outcasts in a pagan society in Roman times. Outcast from a Jewish society in ancient Jewish times. They were cast out. In many ways, they were self-isolated in the church. And Paul called them to remember that they were no longer darkness, but they were light. And that in that light that they shared with one another, there was indeed salvation and redemption. At the end of this reading, he says, "Sleepers, awake!" That call is for all of us to remember that this is not a time for slumbering, for just sleepwalking through our days, but to remember that we are indeed light given to us by Jesus Christ, light that is shared from God. I want to challenge myself and all of you each day, think about one or two things that you can do to reinforce the reality that you are light and not darkness. I want you to ask yourselves how your heart and your mind and your very being can radiate the light of Christ, which you are. Once again, we are not darkness, we are light. And this community will overcome this present darkness, will thrive as we share the light of Christ with one another, the light which we are, which has been given to us by our faithful, loving God. Challenge all of us to open our hearts and share that light, perhaps with a phone call or text or a prayer.